Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You are catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also get me on my Facebook page, True Divine 44, and it is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, comments are greatly appreciated, and much love to everybody who does that thus far. This is part of the free content that I put out on a daily basis to help support, guide, and inspire those who want to be supported, guided, and inspired. Take what resonates, it is general, and leave the rest behind. This is the 16th of October 2020, and it might be a bit of a difficult day for a lot of people. The energies are saying that, and the cards are saying that I work with energy, I work with tarot, and I bring those together for you to navigate your day, to figure out the energies within you, within others, and around you. And today could be a heavy day for a lot of people, but there's much achievement to be had. So yep, I'm all bruised up, battled up from trying to get something sorted for my daughter's ferrets, so ignore the plasters that you'll probably see in various different places. They're all over. So it's good to get a bit bruised up, and that kind of works sometimes. So for the first card, we've got the Three of Cups. Which would seem like a celebratory card. It's a union. Now, the only reason I'm a bit hesitant is because it's a union on the collective stage. A lot of people are going to get such a shock when they see who has actually really just been working together. And there's a bit of a celebration on the collective stage that this trick has pulled off, that this trick has worked. So be aware of that. Be aware of that when it comes up, as it will. So it's their celebration. It feels like more of a malevolent celebration. Now, in individual lives, we see a lot of scheming people also picking up on the magic that is being cast out from the collective stage and reacting to it in the same way. So we see a lot of people celebrating and collaborating with each other, not for the nicest means. So it doesn't feel like this card would usually feel to me. It doesn't feel like the usual celebration. It feels like a celebration where others have managed to or are trying to break down the Trinity within another person or within another group, or within a movement, or within just people's wisdom, a separation of somebody, an attack. And I say that because the Three of Sons also, one for the energy of it, and the Three of Sons in the Nostradamus deck in reverse comes up. So, fire, very powerful, very purifying, but, can be deadly, can be harmful, can hurt. It's a powerful element. And using in its reverse, this is despair, this is envy, this is jealousy, this is the three against the three. This is somebody trying to intercept, to ruin, and to be honest, on some people's, this might sound far out there, but in some people's situation, this is very real. It feels like people want people to be gone, to not exist. And that speaks for on the collective stage too. Watch out for any strange deaths. It's the 16th, so numerology 7, bridge over to the other side. The completion day, the 7 days in the week. Watch out for that. And in your personal life, if you have the gut intuition that this resonates with you, do whatever you need to do. Don't let too much mind come into it and tell you that you're overthinking things. Do whatever you need to do to get to safety and get away from these people. Employ whatever you need to employ to be safe, please. So this speaks of the fact there's malevolence in the air. The 3 and 3 meaning the 6. 6 really being a good number, but under these systems, it's been turned around. It's the 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 carbons. If you look at 666, it's the attack. it's an attack on the people from the collective stage that is very, very heavy. A lot of spell work going on. And it's the attack amongst ourselves, in that the people who have chosen the lower frequency, jealousy, deceit, malevolence, are acting out on the spell work that's being cast out from the collective stage. It speaks to the black sun and the conflict between having the enlightenment of the bright outside sun, the fire that comes up in the sky for us every day, to also the black sun that speaks of the sun within us, in our inner grounds, in our darkness. A lot of this spell work is working to make you attack you also, both from the collective stage and in your individual lives. So take note of that and harness it for your good. This is a time to be the intrepid explorer of self and those dark inner grounds, to be brave, to allow yourself to become more and more whole, so that this kind of attack does not have the effect that is wanted, the effect that is wanted by the attacker. So we have the Four of Swords in reverse too. People are struggling to, even though the veil is so thin right now and the offerings from ancestors are so vast and prevalent, people are struggling because of this magic, because of the energies, the frequencies that are being put out there, however you resonate with that. Struggling to connect to self, struggling to meditate, struggling to switch off. There's an anxiety here. It isn't a great energy. A lot of people losing sleep or going into such an exhausted sleep that they can't even remember their dreams or what they did in the dream world, in that realm that we all go to. So make sure you're implementing your sleep routine. Make sure you're being strict with yourself on that sleep routine. We need all the sleep we can get, and we need proper sleep. A lot of the new, or how do I say it without getting flagged up? Hi, go. That may do it. Is actually affecting people's sleep too, as that's getting switched on. So it is difficult, but do your ceremony, do what you need to do. Those ceremonial baths, those ceremonial showers, even the ceremonial gardening, whatever you can do to really get deep and connect to self and explore that dark sun. And with that being said, we have the Nine of Stars, clarifying this, and this speaks to a lot of anxiety, a lot of despair. It actually represents the twins with the planet Mars. Right now, Mars is being very active, and it speaks to the warfare, the duality of existence, the duality between good and bad, mortal and immortal. It speaks to the attack on self also, that the inability to connect with self creates a lot of room for this kind of magic, the first two cards, to get in and get hooked in. And so we see here that there is despair, that there is a lot of frequencies that are being put out that way. And so we see that also that we are having to choose the frequency again. That came up in the oracle card, and we're having to sort of fight our way through the higher frequency. This is a time of real opportunity to realize who you are, to realize the expansive being that you are, by exploring this dark sun, by exploring this black sun within, and not being afraid of doing so, by finally clearing out all of this bullshit that is being cast by powers that want to stay in power for good reason, because they really know what kind of transition they would have in another realm. You need to somehow, some way, hook into a stillness that hook into a way of being where your thoughts aren't in control, where you can be guided through intuition, to know and do what you came here to do, to be in the present moments. Turn off that TV for goodness sake, because the spell work, the imprisonment that's being cast out, the dissembling of beings that is being done through mainstream media is immense. And to be quite frank, this might be a bit of a tough reading to listen to today, but I'll always be honest with you guys. It makes me feel, ugh, it gives me a visceral reaction to the kind of numbers that I'm seeing them cast out, the kind of repetitive terms, words that they're saying. It's very powerful, and it takes a lot to stay centered and balanced within that. And so we need to be doing that, and we need to be doing that now. Time's up, kind of thing. You really do need to be getting into the nitty gritty of self, making yourself whole, releasing yourself from this entrapment, from this anxiety that's being cast out. So the next card speaks of that, because we have the beautiful warrior hermit card, who travels, for me, is the blinded warrior, because he has this lamp, and his lamp is his intuition, his enlightenment. And I always picture him when I meditate in energy of light, just moving into my dark corners, moving into the things that I don't want to admit to, or the things that are painful, or the things that I even have ego over and don't want to give myself credit for. And this lamp, it just stands there, this light just stands there within whatever corner of me that I'm exploring, and silently just holds space with that and time with that light, until I finally can be still in that corner and look at what I can take from it, and then clear the excess, the needless out. So this card is so important right now, and it's so important that we connect this card with these two cards and the first card, that he shows light into our black sun, into our dark corners. He brings the enlightenment. He just holds space and time. It's for us to do the work. And I say he, it's for a depiction of the energy. For me, this energy is just a light, not just, but a light that I hold in those corners until I get comfortable enough to look at whatever it is I need to look at, whatever it is I need to admit to self about. So that's very important. It's very important to release ourselves from this mental trap. These are both sort of swords, energy cards. And our minds are, the attempt right now is to chain up our thoughts, chain up our minds. Look at the symbolism of it, like the thought crimes that are going on, and they're making a huge deal of it in the mainstream media, Assange, all of those things that are chaining up even thoughts. And that all connects to where, we're going with technology. And so this card is clarified by another major arcana, the Fool card. Now, this Fool is the fool that speaks out, is the explorer, is the adventurer. And some people would think, because it's the Fool, it's a different kind of wisdom, in that it's a wisdom of an endless existence. So there is a bravery and a flippantness of going towards any adventure. But also, this is like the Aquarius energy, in that right now it is for me anyway. And I have my Aquarius moon, and I'm feeling that very strongly, of looking outside. This card speaks out against the powers that be that are taking advantage, against anything that limits the experience, against anything that ties up the mother in this realm that we're in, that could be so beautiful, against anything that and he doesn't mind being laughed at, he doesn't mind being jeered at, he just continues on. And these people are rising up to speak out against the powers that be that are taking advantage. This speaks of a changing of the times, moving into a new dimension. We need to make sure that we're doing our part by doing the inner work, so that we collectively move this this what do you call it, parade, no, parade will do, into a new dimension, into a frequency that serves us, into a frequency that keeps our children safe, into a frequency that allows us to see the beauty, the colors, the vibrancy that this realm has to offer, and that the relationships that we can have with each other have to offer, without all of this mind locking down, controlling. And so it speaks also in your individual life that people are going to have to be brave. There's going to be tough choices that need to be made today regarding the people that you are around in particular, that you are brave enough to take on the name calling, or the mind control, even in our individual lives, of well, no, you have this responsibility, no, you promised this, no, it's more than that right now. It isn't about settling. The fool doesn't settle. He continues on his path. He continues trying to raise his frequency through whatever experience is thrown at him. But he's got the wisdom to not stay in that experience and be a martyr to that experience if it isn't serving his highest frequency. He takes the lessons from that experience that build up the lower realms of himself, to build up those foundations to go even further into light. And so with these two cards, it's asking us to make this transition into this new dimension. And it is going to be difficult. There are going to be things thrown at us. We are looking at Mars, really stirring things up. But Mars isn't just the planet of war. It's the planet of change. It's the planet of upturning. And I'm sure the Leo King is mentioning a lot about Uranus at the minute too. So as above, so below. The difference is these planets are doing their thing. They're making their transitions. They're taking up their points in the sky. Are we doing the same? Are we harnessing the highest energies? Because right now, today, the most pulling, the most loud calling is to get the inner work done in order to be brave enough to move out of whatever situations you are in, within self and around self, on the outside of self, to move towards a new dimension that gives you space to explore a higher frequency, because collectively that is what will pull in this new dimension in a frequency that we would actually wish for. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Sons. And so this speaks to great hardship, great deceit, difficulties. And that's where we're at right now. And that's the honesty of it. But the wisdom in it is that this speaks to us being here for a reason, us being here to be the warriors, to make this transition count, to change into a cycle, to not be holding on to old cycles, to not be limited by the mind that we've been indoctrinated and controlled to have, that we have to keep these systems, we have to protect them because that's what works. They're against natural law. And we just can't see past those thoughts that have been implanted into us so often and so strongly. And that's what creates our inner conflict. That's what creates this dissonance, because we know instinctively and intuitively that a lot of these systems, a lot of these rules and laws go against natural law. And actually, they're all an illusion, because people think these systems are so fixed, the law system, the care system, the healthcare system. No, actually behind the scenes at the top, they're doing alchemy. They're studying and creating and being in Hermeticism. They haven't forgotten, because they hid the treasures away. They haven't forgotten that actually you control this reality through the elements, and that you look to see what natural energy is being emitted by the planets, by the all, by the universe. and they harness that. Many of us have forgotten to do that. And so we need to harness this. We need to dig down deep, and we need to know that this is a time for us to get whole. It's a must. This is the warfare. This is the main reason we're at that point in time of remembering and knowing why we're here. So to not buy into things that haven't served us ever and for a very long time, to not fall for those tricks of little gifts, little speeches that make you feel giddy, that make you feel proud. Do the inner work. That's where the day is at. On the bottom of the deck we have the Four of Cups. On the other deck, and this is where we're not looking, we're forgetting to look to see the gift from the heavens. We're forgetting to look to see the gift cup, because in the other decks there's 3 cups that somebody is concentrating on and feeling a bit depressed about, and there's 1 cup coming from the heavens, and that's where we look at this 3 and this 3 again. They're connecting up together, in that we're not seeing where the attacks are coming from, because in our personal lives, the people that are closest to us, and it goes far deeper than we ever imagined. And in the collective, on the collective stage, we are seeing, or maybe not seeing, but it's happening. People who we think are in our corner are actually some of the worst against the collective, some of the worst against natural law. And so it's important that we see this cup, and this cup today represents the energies, the planetary alignments. Go and look at the Leo King, go and look at Maru Matu, the great astrologers that lay it all out for you. Use me, use them, take the gifts that are being given to you by the universe to give you that guidance. It's about harnessing the energy that's there. And so, and not fighting against those energies. You know, we are part of them, and sometimes we have to be submissive to them in order to find the greatest power within them. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps you find your way today. Yes, it might be a difficult day, a heavy day, but you can make this day yet another huge turning point in your life, where your power, your expansive being is increased, where your path leads to exciting times, where you can look back and know and tell your grandchildren, you were part of this, you were part of bringing in change that is lasting, new and good. And so with that being said, if you'd like a private reading with me, if you'd like to get real personal, to know what you need to do personally for you, you can hit me up at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, or private message me on Facebook at truedivine44. Other than that, much balance, much love, much wholeness. Thank you for listening.